Thank you all again for joining us for the Everything You Need to Know About Academic Options After Your Bachelor's Degree workshop. Joining us today will be Lori Filippo, Assistant Director of Recruitment. Lori will be teaching us ways to prepare for graduate school, how to present organized and complete information when applying for graduate school, the application process, financial support, funding, and more. I will now hand it over to Lori to get us started.
Right, thank you so much. And hello, everyone. Again, my name is Lori. So today, we want to talk about grad school. What does it look like after you complete your bachelor's degree? How do you apply to those grad programs? How do you honestly look for the grad program that you want to go into that would help you with that overall career goal that you do have? So let's go ahead and dive a little bit further on what is graduate and professional school. So some of you may already have an idea of what graduate and professional school is, but they are advanced courses of study, again, really helping you further into that career field that you may be looking at going into. So there's a few different ways that you can approach graduate and professional school. The most common is our master's. This is the largest degree category that we have for graduate school is students going for their master's, so either master's of arts, master's of science. Some of our masters, they do lead straight to your licensure. So if you're looking at being a nurse, maybe doing clinical mental health counseling, going into education, those types of master's programs, once you finish the master's degree, you are then eligible to go ahead and take your license exam. We also, of course, have our doctoral programs. Some students, they feel like you have to complete your master's in order to go for your doctorate. That's not always the case. There are programs that we offer where just for completing your bachelor's degree, you can go straight into a doctorate. This might help possibly save some money, some time. You don't have to do that middle program in between it. But what I always recommend if you're thinking to go straight for a doctorate and skip the master's, see what kind of career path you're looking for. Is that what's needed? Do you need just the master's? Would it be beneficial to have that doctorate degree? Of course, doctorates are going to take a little bit longer, especially if you are going straight from your bachelor's into the doctorate degree. So just look at it. Definitely contact us if you have any questions about going right into a PhD. But now if you do go for your master's first and then later go for your doctorate, there's going to be fewer courses, of course, because you already finished that master's degree. So contact us. Let us see what would be the best approach for you if going for the master's or possibly going straight for the doctorate degree. There's also the professional schools. So students that might be interested in dental, law, maybe going to med school. We also offer occupational therapy and physical therapy at UNLV. So these really focus on a training for a specific career. So we do offer those at UNLV as well. And then we also offer certificate programs. So these are more of a condensed certificate, more maybe about 12 classes that you would have to take. They can be done at the same time as a graduate degree. So maybe you're going for your master's in clinical mental health counseling, but you really want to concentrate on addiction studies. We do have a certificate in addiction studies that you can go for. Some of our certificate degrees are more advanced, so they do require that you have a master's to go into that certificate, but not all of them. So again, you may be able to get a certificate right after your bachelor's or even combine it with the master's or doctorate degree. All right, so why go to grad school? So going to grad school, going for your professional degree, it does help you stand out from the crowd. It really does give you those skills that employers are looking for. So it makes you more marketable, more sought after from the employers. We have found out that only 14.4% actually hold graduate and professional degrees. So again, really helping you stand out from others. And more importantly, taking control of your future. Okay, so why UNLV? So you may already know why UNLV, but this is more so why are students continuing on with their grad studies at UNLV? So as you may know, UNLV is a prestigious R1 ranking institution. We are one of only 131 universities in the US to hold this ranking. At the grad school, we do have over 190 graduate degree and certificate programs, and this includes more than 40 doctoral and professional programs. So we're constantly adding more. I wouldn't be surprised within the next semester or two, you're going to see this number increase. Currently, we are the third most diverse university in the country. And then you can see some of our other rankings here. We do rank top 10 in social mobility, and we're one of only 119 universities to hold the community engagement classification. Now, the nice thing with our grad programs is on top of being an R1 ranking institution, being a regionally accredited institution, a lot of our grad programs, they hold their own national rankings and accreditation as well. With grad studies, you also will learn from nationally and internationally recognized faculty. We want you out in the field. We don't want you to just sit in the classrooms. We want to give you that real world experience. We want to help you not just get your degree with us, but get into that career afterwards. So there will be a lot of opportunities for internships, partnering with local employers. We have hands-on experience with graduate assistantships. So again, really creating that full experience for you. Now, you'll also be able to work in labs, research centers, libraries, and we know a lot of our students are very non-traditional. So we do offer classes in the evening, afternoon. We have hybrid classes, online classes. We even have fully online grad programs. All right, so how to choose a program. So 190 programs, right? That's a lot of programs. So you're probably wondering, where do I even start with that? Where do I look? Or is the program I'm looking at even right for the career that I want to go into? So what we say is maybe start with the outcome. What is the career that you want to go into? Is it being a teacher? Do you want to be a nurse? What makes you happy, inspired? So look at the career first. Maybe even do some research to then look at that career and then see, okay, what are they requiring? Are they looking for a specific degree? Do they want a master's? Do they want that PhD level? So really looking at the outcome first. Think beyond your bachelor's degree. Just because you received your undergrad in one field doesn't mean that you have to get, your master's and your doctorate in that same field. Maybe when you were going for your bachelor's, you thought, oh, I really want to be a teacher, and you were really looking at that the whole time. And then now you're like, oh, this is not what I wanted to do at all. Maybe you're really wanting to do nursing. You can do that. Just again, because you got your bachelor's in one field does not mean you have to stick with that for your master's or your PhD. And then, of course, reach out. Contact our departments. We have a graduate coordinator for every single program that we offer. Contact them to let them know what is your career goals, what are you looking to do, and see if that degree will help you to get to that overall goal. And then, of course, reach out to us. We are more than happy to talk to you, let you know about how the degrees work. If you have questions about what are the requirements for the program, just contact us, email us. We're here to help you out with the process. And then more just selecting programs. Make sure you're researching the programs. Look at what are the requirements for your program. You want to start doing this early. Every single program has their own specific requirements that you'll need. They have their own deadlines. So make sure you're looking at this early, especially if there's a few different fields that you're considering and going into, or a few different careers that you're looking at going into. You want to start this research early. So if you're a junior, a senior right now, especially, maybe you're a sophomore even, or a freshman, it's never too early to start looking into this so that you know that you're on the right path. Okay, so speaking a little bit more about deadlines. Deadlines are very crucial when it comes to grad college. Again, all of our programs have specific deadlines on when you have to have your application and your materials submitted by. It's so important that after you know what program you want to pursue, go and check out the deadline page. Some of our programs, I will say especially the PhDs, they only admit once a year. And sometimes those once a year deadlines are very, very early. You may be required to do a GRE or a GMAT test. If you have to do a personal statement, get letters of recommendation, all of these things take time. So you definitely want to know, what is my deadline and what is required of me to apply for this specific program. Okay. So again, touching on, while you're a student here, we want to make sure you get a full experience. So these are some undergrad student support that we have. So if you are currently an undergrad at UNLV, we have two ways that we do have undergrad support. Um, so there is accelerated programs. So they allow undergrad students to basically get that head start on their grad degree. They can take grad courses. I believe there is a form you would have to fill out unless you are part of the accelerated program, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But most of these programs are referred to as a 3+2 or a 4+1 program. The example that we have here mentioned is our economics. So if you're a UNLV undergrad senior standing and you're wanting to go into the master's in economics, you can start to complete specific econ courses, receive a grade no grade lower than a B, and then start getting that head start on grad school. Maybe you're just looking to start taking some grad courses as an undergrad. So you can definitely do that as well. You would just have to fill out an approval form that would go through with the grad professor, their department, also get approved by the grad college. And again, it's just a way to get a little bit of a head start into the grad school. Okay, and then as many of you are probably well aware, we do have the Grad Academy. So having this wonderful Grad Rebel Advantage program. There's also the free certifications that you are more than welcome to take part of, the different workshops that help you more with that professional growth. And the events. So make sure you're checking out your Rebel email. If there is any kind of events or opportunities on campus going on, you will be notified in your Rebel email address. Okay, and then on campus, we do have many different resources and programs to help you out while you are going for your studies. So we do have, of course, the library, health center, financial aid and scholarships. The big one for a grad that I always like to mention, though, is the writing center. As a grad student, you are going to have those papers, publications, thesis, dissertation, things like that. So definitely utilize the Writing Center. If you are a current UNLV student, I would even recommend reaching out to them when you're about to apply to grad school. A lot of our programs do require a statement of intent. The statement of intent is your chance to talk to the committee on why you would be a good candidate for their program. So it's typically a page or two of you saying, what are your goals? Why do you want to go into this program? Talking of just really more, again, why they should accept you into their program. So it's good to utilize that writing center, just to have someone revise it, look over it, and give you any insight on what they think you should add into that letter. And then we do have many events going on. So really each week, I would say we have about 2 or 3 events. You can check them out on our recruitment calendar. The next one I would suggest going to, if you are looking to go to grad school, would be our 201. This will dive a little bit deeper into those specific requirements you need for grad school. So looking at the transcripts and that statement of intent. We will look at the testing. So if you have to do a GMAT or a GRE, we'll talk briefly on how that may work. We will look at, just again, anything that is specifically required for your program, we will touch on that a little bit further. And then, of course, keep a lookout for any fairs, tabling events. If you maybe have not been to the UNLV campus, we do offer tours virtually and in person. So keep a lookout on our events calendar for any events that you may want to attend. Okay, so how to apply to be a grad rebel. So you will do your application online. It'll be done through the Grad Rebel Gateway. In this portal, this is going to be your main hub, honestly, from when you start your application all the way until honestly when you graduate. You may be doing things within this portal. So once you create an account, you'll log in, let the system know what program you're wanting to pursue at UNLV. It will start to create a checklist based off that program, which will then say, okay, this student needs to submit a statement of intent, letters of recommendation, whatever the case may be. So you will upload all of your documents to your application. The application fee is $95 for international students and $60 for domestic students. Once you submit your application, that is when you would be eligible to then apply for any graduate assistantships or scholarships. So if you are interested in applying for GAs or any scholarships, just keep in mind, you don't have to be admitted yet, but you do have to at least have your application submitted. And then of course, remember your deadline for your application. Okay, so once you submit your application, all of your documents are in, this is what our grad admissions team will look for. So your application is essentially being reviewed twice. It gets reviewed first by the graduate admissions team and then by your specific department. So the graduate admissions team, they want to see that you have earned a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution or an approved internationally equivalent. For your bachelor's degree, they want to see that you've earned at least a 2.75 overall GPA. If you fall below the 2.75, they will look at the last 60 credits you've earned, and they want to see that you have at least a 3.0 for those last 60. They do need to see transcripts from each post-secondary institution that you attended. If you completed coursework or degrees outside of the US, they will need to see that transcript both in the original language and in English translation. You do not need to have the coursework or degrees from outside the US evaluated by a third-party agency. We will make sure that is all done here in-house for you. If you are an international student, you may also be required to show proof of English proficiency, but now if you are graduating from UNLV with your bachelor's, that gets waived for you. You do not need to show any test for your English proficiency. Once the admissions team completes their review of your transcripts, it will then go under review by the department. Now, again, this is going to depend on what program you're pursuing. So based off what program will determine what are the specific requirements you have to submit along with your application. So again, check out our degrees directory page, look at our catalog. If you need any, or if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We will help you out to figure out what is specifically required for you and your program. Once the department makes their overall decision, that is when you will then be notified via email and you will be able to view your decision letter in the Grad Rebel Gateway. Okay, so funding grad school. So this is just an estimate. As we know, this is definitely subject to change. But just to give you an idea for grad school, what it may look like for your annual tuition and fees. For 1 year, if you're an in-state student, you're looking at a little over $7,000. If you're out of state, you're looking at over $24,000. Now, one thing I want to note with grad school is that full-time is considered 9 credits. So 3 classes in the fall and the spring. As you may know, we are semester-based. So these amounts here would be based off 18 credits, so your fall and your spring for your tuition and your fees. But again, please keep in mind, this is always subject to change. We do have an estimator with a cashier's office, so I highly recommend checking out that estimator. Once things are updated, or as soon as we find out if there's any change with the amounts, we will let you know. But we do want to help out any way we can with the funding. So these are a few different ways that we support, have funding opportunities for the students, is through one, graduate assistantships. So we have over 1,000 GAs on campus. A GA is someone that is working and they are studying on campus. They may be a research GA, teaching GA, they could even be administrative. So what the GA covers, and it doesn't matter what type of GA you are, you will still get the same package deal. So what they cover They will cover your full tuition up to 9 credits. So now not all GAs will cover the full 9 credits. So just keep that in mind. They might cover up to 6. They might do the full 9. It just depends on the department and type of GA that you are. If you are an out-of-state student, they will waive the out-of-state tuition. You will also receive an annual stipend between 17 and 22,000. Again, it just depends on the type of GA. If you're also master's or PhD, sometimes that plays into a factor. And then they also have health insurance benefits and summer tuition benefits. So if you are a UNLV student, you are awarded a GA and you need to use UNLV's health insurance while you're a student here, we will go ahead and pay for that health insurance. Now, one thing I just want to mention, let's say you're a UNLV student, you apply for 9 credits, but you're not a GA. All of our students that enroll in full-time 9 credits, they automatically will get hit with the health insurance charge. Now, with that being said, if you have your own health insurance, maybe you're currently working right now or using a different company to get your health insurance. If you do not need to use UNLV's health insurance, make sure to waive out of it. So after you enroll in your classes, just brief over what is actually being charged to your account. And again, if there is that health insurance and you have your own, waive out of ours. There is the 5.7 million in awards. So we have new and current student scholarships, fellowship opportunities. There's even a ton of awards for research, academics, teaching. I always recommend we have it on the website, but also reach out to your department, contact your grad coordinator, see if they have any funding opportunities within their area that you can apply for. And then, of course, we do have the low cost of living and tuition. So we do have affordable living. There's many different residency options, both on the UNLV campus and right around the valley, even less than a mile, that you're more than welcome to take a look at. We have no state income tax here in Nevada. And then, of course, you get to take advantage of all the local discounts, tickets, and entertainment. Some other funding sources that you might want to consider if you are working right now, you may want to ask your employer, hey, I'm looking to go back to grad school. Here's what I'm looking to study. See if maybe they offer any kind of tuition waiver or any just awards or funding or scholarship. We've heard of a few students that their company may actually help them to pay for some of it, especially if it's going more toward that career. So it never hurts. Go ahead and reach out to them. Don't be afraid also to apply for other scholarship, those resources out there. Just get your name in there. A lot of students don't do it because they think there's so many students that are already applying and their name is not going to be selected, but still go after them. And then, of course, stay connected with us. If you have any questions at all while you're going through the application process, or maybe you just don't know where to start with grad school or what program, please feel free to contact the grad recruitment team. We are at the Student Service Complex Building B. We're available Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. If you want to set up an appointment with us, just email us, call us. We can do the session over the phone, or if you prefer email or Zoom, we want to make sure that as long as you're getting your questions answered, that we stay connected with you any way that you prefer. So I'll leave this up and I'll pass it back to the Grad Academy.
Awesome. Were you gonna have a question time, Lori?
Yeah, yep. So if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to take those.
Due to the lack of activity. Before we end today's session, and again, if you guys do have questions, feel free to interrupt at this point. But before we end today's session, we would like to thank our presenter, Lori, for sharing their time and expertise with us today, and to thank our participants for joining us today. Before you guys log off, please take a few minutes to fill out a workshop feedback survey. Actually, we may not have access to that link during this time, actually. Brandon would like to know when the grad school application for 201 for the 201 workshop is being hosted?
Yeah, great question, Brandon. So our next one, I'm just looking at my calendar here, is actually going to be on October 24th. What I'll do, if you give me 2 seconds here. I'm gonna go ahead and put our grad events calendar in the chat. Okay, so I just put our events calendar in the chat. But yeah, the 201 is going to be on October 24th. I can confirm that time is, let's see, it is a virtual event. See what time we have. It's from 12 to 1 will be for that event. So definitely hop on. And in this one, or that link that I did put in the chat, go through it. I mean, we have events for business school, hospitality coming up. We have social work on the 21st, if you're interested in finance. We're even having, I believe tonight, we are having a session on accounting. So if we have any students that maybe are looking into an accounting degree, we do have that going on tonight. So definitely take a peek. The sessions are nice too. You'll hear from our grad recruitment team, but more so and more importantly, you're going to hear directly from the departments. So you'll have the directors, you'll have degree program advisors on there, and they're the ones who are going to chat with you specifically on what they're looking for when you do apply to their programs.
And it looks like we also do have another question from Cora. How does getting hands-on experience work with a fully online program?
Yeah, Court, that's a great question. And there's still, even if you take your program fully online, you can still utilize everything that we offer on campus. So of course, all the resources you are more than welcome to be a part of. You're a Rebel, you're a UNLV Rebel, whether you're on fully online, in person, hybrid, whatever the case is, you can utilize those resources. There's even programs, for example, I'm just going to use the online MBA, if that may be a program that some of you may be interested in. Our Masters of Business, they just started their fully online program for this upcoming spring. And while it's fully online, they do have different trips and they will tell the students about those, and they get to also take part of them if they're available and if they are able to do so. So yeah, you can still fully take advantage of all the resources, anything that's offered, even in your specific program, even if it is a fully online degree.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd like to thank Lori again and our participants again for joining us as well. Seems like those were the last two questions. I hope everyone else has a great rest of their day, and thank you for joining us.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.